The latest breaking news.
Time right now is 11:35. Breaking news right now is Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton holding a press conference here in Florida regarding that Cuban embargo. Let's listen in live.
Cuba, leaving behind their parents, their brothers, sisters, all their families, to come to a country where they had no family, didn't speak the language, and had no prospects for employment. All in the hopes of giving me and my brother a chance to thrive in a country that stood for opportunity and democratic principles. For decades, my parents, particularly my mother, had no contact with family. At one point, her brother died in a horrific accident, and she couldn't support or mourn with her family. My story is, like so many other stories, families torn apart by an oppressive regime and made worse by decades-long misguided U.S. policy towards Cuba. Today, we are fortunate to have someone that gets it, someone that understands and is sympathetic to our story. So it is my honor to introduce our distinguished speaker. Let me start by thanking Secretary Clinton for taking the time to have a conversation with this community, a community that is grateful for her partnership and advocacy for so many years, to share with us her support for President Obama's policy and her vision for engaging Cuba, particularly as it relates to deepening ties between people here and those on the island. She understands how personal and sensitive this issue is, and for that reason, she is committed to ensuring that we sustain the progress achieved with family reunification while we move forward in empowering the Cuban people. This is more than just a policy issue for this community. This is a personal issue which people live every day. It's part of who we are and part of the Cuban-American reality. The Secretary has taken the time to be with us to offer her vision and commitment to this community. So please join me in welcoming Secretary Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I want to thank Dr. Frank Mora, Director of the Kimberly Green Latin American and Caribbean Center, and a professor here at FIU, and before that served with distinction at the Department of Defense. I want to recognize former Congressman Joe Garcia. Thank you, Joe, for being here. A longtime friend. A longtime friend and exemplary educator, the president of Miami-Dade College, Eduardo Ardon, is here. Thank you. And the president of FIU, Mark Rosenberg. I thank you all for being here, and for me it's a delight to be at Florida International University. You can really feel the energy here. It's a place where people of all backgrounds and walks of life work hard, do their part, and get ahead. Albatross around our necks. We were isolated in our opposition to opening up the island.
Right now at noon, we are going to break away from the Hillary Clinton press conference as she calls on Congress to lift the Cuban embargo. As we have more breaking news to report to you right now from Miami as well. The U.S. Coast Guard is giving an update on the search for those two teenage boaters. Let's listen in.
So I do want to express my heartfelt condolences to the family. I met with them on Wednesday. Obviously, they're going through a traumatic time, and I just want to express my heartfelt sympathy to them. The Coast Guard dedicates its best efforts to every search and rescue case, but this one was particularly painful because a lot of the people that were out there searching have kids about the same age. I have a 14-year-old and a 13-year-old. So the decision to suspend was excruciating and gut-wrenching for me personally. We made a decision to extend our search efforts because there was some uncertainty as to when the boys may have went into the water. From Friday when they left Jupiter to Sunday when we found that capsized boat. We also took into account their age and their combined will to live. We never discount that. I do want to highlight that this was a true all-hands-on-deck effort between the Coast Guard, our brethren in the Department of Homeland Security, Department of Defense, our state and local partners, as well as the government of Bahamas.
You've been listening to a live update on the search for the missing 2 teenage boys. That was Captain Mark Fetter of the Coast Guard 7th District, and the decision has been made to suspend the search at sunset tonight. He said that the Coast Guard had reached a limit for search and rescue effort. He said that he had children of his own, and it was an excruciating and gut-wrenching decision to make. As a courtesy, they did tell this to the parents of the missing teenagers on Wednesday, but then they did not make it public until just a few minutes ago. They said that this is still an open investigation. What suspension means that this is not closed. They can reopen it if information warrants it. So the newest information right now, the search for the missing teenagers will be suspended as of sunset tonight.